Leading our journey today is Bishop Timothy Doherty, Bishop for the Diocese of Lafayette-in-Indiana.
Today, we enter into Holy Week with Palm Sunday, or we also call it Passion Sunday, because we read the Passion from the Gospel of Luke today as a body, as an assembly at Mass. The Passion is a very important part of the Gospels. It comprises almost a third of the Gospel texts. And we have to ask ourselves the question of all that people could have written down about Jesus, why was it so important to write the step-by-step story of Jesus on his way to Calvary? And part of the purpose was so that we could join him on that journey, and we have a part to play. And this is why we read together from the text, and we have all parts to play at church. And so here's kind of my thoughts on where we're going with all of this. First of all, when we take a part, we are actively part of the crowd there. Now, please realize, especially in the Gospel of Luke, that the word crowd is kind of a pejorative term. Haoklos is the Greek. It is used to identify those people that sometimes can be for you and sometimes be against you or want to stone you. So it's kind of a fickle description. And when we take an active part in this reading of the Passion, we're basically telling ourselves, hey, there are moments where I'm kind of fickle about my own faith or my commitment to Christ, about accepting and proclaiming him, or in moments of my sinning, denying him. So it's important that we see the portrayal of the crowd not as a neutral element, not just as some part of an ongoing story, but that we walk into that story as a part of our liturgical process at the beginning of Holy Week. Now, in our own lives, we are cautious about crowds as well. Sometimes it's fun to be in a crowd if they're up to something good. But how often, for those of us who raise children, have we had to say to a child, you can't do that just because everybody else is doing it? The child will say, well, everybody at school does it. And the parent will say, no, not everybody at school is doing it, and so forth. There's an educational process here where we begin to discern what does it mean to be part of a crowd and whether that's valuable to us. As adults, how often have we gotten pulled over maybe for a speeding ticket and say to the officer, but everybody was going this speed. And we all know how well that excuse works. So not everyone was speeding, but we take responsibility for our own behavior within the crowd, let's say. Another piece that I'm particular about in the place where I live, it seems like everybody thinks it's okay to throw the litter out their car window into the yard where I live. Somehow being part of that crowd is not an admirable thing. So we're at the beginning of Holy Week. We are part of the crowd in some of these readings. The Passion will be relayed again to us during the solemn liturgy of Good Friday. And when we read this, we're not reading somebody else's story. We're really understanding ourselves as part of the larger story of salvation history and the ebb and flow of our closeness to God and sometimes our flow away from God. The point of Holy Week, of course, is to overcome those things that draw us away and make us more critical of our actions and more accepting of God's help to be good and holy. The journey through this Holy Week is really important. There are liturgies that occur only once per year. For instance, on Holy Thursday with the washing of the feet, on Good Friday with the carrying of the cross and the reverencing of the cross, and on the Easter Vigil, which is a wonderful ceremony whereby we welcome and confirm those people entering the church through the new portal for them of baptism. So thank you for giving me some of your time today. Join us again tomorrow as we continue our Lenten Holy Week journey together. God bless you in your journey, your pilgrimage of hope.